Hey guys, this is chapter 6, Adolescence, and we'll be walking through the different slides in this chapter. First of all, you need to know that adolescence is the transition period from childhood to adulthood. It begins with puberty around the ages of 10 to 13, ends in the late teens with individuals looking at where they're going to fit into society. So early adolescence is started by puberty and changes that are happening because of that. Late adolescence is marked by focusing on a career, dating, identity, where do I fit in society. We've got biological changes, cognitive changes, and social emotional changes. Remember, those are the three domains of development. The major biological changes are driven by puberty. So make sure you take a look at what is puberty, what's happening, but we're having growth spurts, hormone changes, sexual maturation, cognitive changes as well. There's abstract thinking, idealistic thinking. Children are starting to get really good with logical thinking. They're also still having egocentric thinking in the sense that they feel that everyone is paying attention to what they're doing. And their social emotional changes, they want to be independent. They don't really want to do what their parents want them to do. They're spending more time with their friends. So again, we say that it begins in biology with puberty and it ends in culture with where do you fit in with society. Take a look at emerging adulthood. It's between 18 to 25 and it's sort of like a second adolescence, if you will, because higher education is so important in industrialized countries. People are not really taking on adulthood at 18 like they used to. They're now pushing that back further to 25 once you're out of school. So make sure you know this YouTube video here, you have to watch it. If you don't watch it, you won't be successful on the next test. Mark Bauerlein has a really interesting view of adolescents and young adults. And pretty much anyone born after 1980 is considered a millennial. And there are a lot of different things that are happening with millennials. And Mark Bauerlein has a specific view of millennials, and you need to take a look at it and tell me if you agree with it or if you don't. So some of the developmental issues are nature versus nurture, what's more important in puberty, continuity, discontinuity, and earlier versus later experience. Just kind of have those in the back of your mind as we go across adolescence. So puberty is a big deal. We've all gone through it. We know it happens right around middle school, junior high, and it's a period of rapid physical maturation with hormonal bodily changes that are taking place in early adolescence. So we're having endocrine system changes, our weight, our body fat, leptin. These things may be reasons or triggers or causes for the onset of puberty, or they may be a result of puberty. Genes are linked to the onset and progression of puberty. Also, environment is important with the onset and progression of puberty. We have really important hormones. Androgens are the male sex hormones, estrogens are the female sex hormones, and these are becoming more important during puberty. The endocrine system is the activation of the HPG axis. Our hypothalamus is our brain structure, which regulates our eating, sleeping, and sex. Our pituitary glands controls our growth and regulates other glands, and our gonads are our sex glands. So these three glands come together to form the HPG axis, and these three things are really important in the onset and the progression of puberty in adolescence. It's a negative feedback system, so our hormones are regulated by a negative feedback loop. When hormones are too high, there's a signal to slow down production. When hormones are too low, there's a signal to increase the release of hormones. So it's like a thermostat in that sense. It's a negative feedback system. not a positive feedback system. So there are a lot of questions about what causes the onset of puberty. Could be weight. There's a specific weight that could trigger puberty. It could be because it's more likely to occur earlier in individuals who are overweight. It could be a body fat issue where it's related to the percentage of body fat. It could be a hormonal issue, an increase in the hormone leptin may cause it. But we do note that in developed countries, children enter puberty earlier. So there may be some things, again, that are we're consuming in processed foods that are causing children to enter puberty earlier. Also, family stress